So this Ki1, okay, this reaction is technically very important. Here, this Ki, I told you, you have to keep in mind that whenever Ki you are going to take, then Ki you have to take as a moist, and ferrous sulfate, FeSO4, you have to take acidified. Okay, FeSO4 you have to take acidified, and potassium iodide you have to take as a moist one. So let me write down the overall equation here, and I'll explain the importance of this reaction. Overall, I'm going to multiply the equation 1 by 2. Let me first multiply equation 1 by 2. 2 nascent oxygen will cancel out. Overall, you're going to get, it will be your 2Ki plus I will get the O3 ozone plus H2O plus H2O. It will give 2 oxygen plus I2, 2 oxygen here, 1 oxygen here, so it should comes out to be 3O2 plus I2 plus I will get the 2KOH. So this is basically the overall equation. Now CBSE, what they're going to do, sometimes they are going to ask ionic equation of it. Already I discussed with you how to write down the ionic equation. The same way we have to derive the ionic equation for it. It's an important one because in exams they can ask complete the ionic equation. So let me write down the ionic equation. K2 Ki only, Ki I need to cancel out from both sides. Rest though nothing we need to remove. Okay, only this Ki I need to remove it. 2K cancel out from both sides. I will get here 2I negative plus here I will get the ozone plus I will get the H2O. It will give 3O2 plus I will get the I2 plus I will get the 2OH negative. So this both type of reaction should settle into your mind. Now what's the importance of this reaction, why it is so? Basically this reaction, okay, this reaction that I have written here iodine we are going to get, and with ozone we are reacting it. When ozone react with excess of Ki, that is potassium iodide, excess of Ki, and solution we are going to buffer with a borate buffer. Okay, just this thing you have to keep in mind. We are going to just buffer it by borate buffer. I hope so you're knowing it, okay, which can resist a slight change in the acidic and basic. Buffer pH 9.2. Then iodine is liberated. Okay, this practically thing. Otherwise iodine we are going to get. Iodine is liberated, and if we are going to this iodine that is liberated, if we are going to titrate it against a solution of thiosulfate, this iodine liberated, if we are going to titrate it against a solution of thiosulfate, Na2H2O3, then we can quantitatively measure the amount of ozone. We can quantitatively, you're getting it, okay? Quantitatively you can find out the amount here. Okay, quantitative estimated, we can quantitatively estimate the ozone. So why this reaction is important? 2 marks may someday they are going to ask. Okay, they are going to ask in 2 marks or sometime in 1 mark. You complete the reaction. How you can quantitatively measure? How you can quantitatively measure the amount of ozone? How you can quantitatively find out the amount of ozone? Okay, so that is a method with the help of potassium iodide. You do the reaction, iodine you are going to get. This iodine we are going to titrate it against a Na2H2O3 solution, thiosulfate, sodium thiosulfate solution, and we can estimate the ozone. This reaction is the second important one. Now we'll go, we are discussing oxidizing properties of ozone. We discussed preparation, we discussed it is thermodynamically unstable. Now next one is it converts carbon to carbonic acid. Be fast now, do the reactions. Okay, carbon to carbonic acid. I'm going to write down here. It converts carbon to carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is H2CO3. It converts carbon to carbonic acid, H2CO3. And first reaction, this one you will do. Directly you want to do it, or with me you want to do it, you can do it. I will split up. O3 gives O2 plus nascent oxygen. Carbon, we are going to add the nascent oxygen. It will give carbonic acid. Just wait, I written wrong last section. Okay, carbon, it will give carbonic acid, H2CO3. So carbon, so I can balance it. Oxygen also I can balance it, but I cannot balance the hydrogen. To balance the hydrogen, definitely I'm going to add H2 on this side, nascent oxygens. Let's see, carbon is balanced, hydrogen is balanced, oxygen is not balanced. So here I'm going to add the two nascent oxygens. Little space, let me write down it again. Carbon plus H2O plus two nascent oxygens, it will give H2CO3. And here I'm going to multiply this one by 2. Two nascent oxygens will cancel out. Okay, so what I will get overall equation? Overall will be our carbon plus it will be our 2O3 plus H2O gives, it will give carbonic acid, that is H2CO3 plus it will give the 2O2. 2O2 oxygen. I hope so you're able to do it easily. Next one, important, it oxidizes NO to NO2. It oxidizes NO to NO2. Nitric oxide to nitrogen dioxide. NO to NO2. Just try to do it yourself. Just try to do it. Then after that I will start. Just try to do it. NO to NO2. Again, directly if you want to do na, so in one line also you can do. In one line also you can do. And splitting up so that the concept that should become better in your mind. Nothing more than that. Just like O3, it will give O2 plus nascent oxygen. Here I will get the NO plus I will get the nascent oxygen. It will give NO2. इसमें तो nothing you need to balance it. O and O will cancel out, and I will get the overall reaction. Overall I will get NO plus I will get the O3. It will give you NO2 plus it will give you O2. One to reaction I told you now of Ki. That right now we discussed of Ki reaction. Okay, potassium iodide moist I need to take, and that reaction is used for the estimation of ozone. If you want to estimate the ozone, then that reaction we are going to use. This reaction you will see. Okay, NO1 reaction. This reaction, the nitrogen oxide combined rapidly with the ozone. NO, very important, and just consider it. This NO is reacting with the ozone. Okay, this NO is reacting with the ozone. So what is actually happening? It is depleting the ozone layer. It is depleting the ozone layer. This reaction is responsible for depleting the ozone layer. Okay, they are basically depleting the ozone layer. From where we are getting this NO? This NO we are getting from the exhaust of the supersonic jet airplanes. Okay, and due to which here ozone will be converted to O2, or ozone convert NO to NO2, and ozone layer depletion can take place. Okay, ozone layer depletion can take place. So those reactions which having little importance, those are just important for your examination point of view. Let me go ahead now. We'll just go with the next one reaction. It combined with iodine to give iodic acid. It combined with, we done previous also. Here also we are going to do, because in board exams you need to be having idea. You will become comfortable. More practice will do na, you will become comfortable. Just try to convert iodine to iodic acid. Try to convert iodine to iodic acid. I2 to HiO3. Just try to do the reaction. Try to do the reaction. Iodine to iodic acid. Let me see if you would get a response. How many are able to do? Just raise your hands. Okay, leave. Just let me go it. I2 to HiO3. So again, yeah, Samir, that's fine. Great, bache. Who else? Who else? Shabash. Just do it. Then we'll check the final equation. Just raise your hands, those able to do. Yeah, Paras, shabash. Shabash, Paras. Good. Okay. Fine, those done. That's good. Parthvi, great, bache. Shabash. Shabash, Parthvi. Good. Shabash, Varniti. Shabash, bache. Good. Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Suksaj, very good. Very good. You're all good. I know that. You're all great. Good. My students are good. You see here. I know that you're knowing it. Just let me do it. O3 gives O2 plus nascent oxygen. I want to convert I2. Here I'm going to write an I2 to HiO3. Let me just do it a little bit. Okay. I2 to HiO3. So again, water is going to create a problem because hydrogen कहाँ से balance करें? To balance the hydrogen, I'm going to add H2O here, water molecule here, okay? And nascent oxygens O that will come from the ozone. Overall, okay, let me check it out. Iodine is not balanced. I need to balance the iodine at HiO3. I'll just take a little bit more space to HiO3. Let's see now. Hydrogen is balanced. Iodine is balanced. Oxygen is not balanced. Here we have the 6. So this side I'm having a 1 already. So plus 5 nascent oxygens. So first equation I need to multiply by 5. Overall reaction I will get 5 nascent. 5 nascent will cancel out. I will get here I2 plus I will get the 5O3 plus I will get here H2O gives 2HiO3 to iodic acid to HiO3 plus 5O2. 2HiO3 plus 5O2. 2HiO3 plus 5O2. I hope so. It's also fine. Sorry. Last reaction. It oxidizes mercury to mercurous oxide. It oxidizes mercury to mercurous oxide. It oxidizes mercury to mercurous oxide. I've written this thing in terms of word. Why? Because I want you should do it yourself. Just do it yourself. Just do it yourself and raise your hands. Shabash, Paras, 1. More hands. Okay, let me do it. Okay, just see here. Two important things are here. First, so mercury that represented by Hg. Sorry. Sorry. We have two. One is your mercuric oxide. One is mercurous oxide. I told you, mercurous Hg positive is mercurous, and Hg2 positive is mercuric. Great, Parthvi, great, shabash. So I need to do for mercurous oxide. So mercurous oxide is Hg2O. I want to convert Hg to Hg2O. So it's fine now. I will do it. Let me split up and I will just try to do it. Great, Vaneti. Great, good, shabash. Let me write down reaction here. Ozone O3 gives O2 plus nascent oxygen, Hg mercury plus okay, nascent oxygen. It will give Hg2O. Balancing, okay, 2Hg here. Sorry, it's balanced now. Nascent oxygen will cancel out. So I will get the overall reaction. I hope so. You can just write down easily. It will be your 2 mercury plus ozone gives Hg2O plus O2. Hg2O plus O2. It should be like this. Okay, you know that my side gravity is acting more, so my lines are going downwards. There's an influence of gravity only. Okay, don't worry. Just let me do it. Okay, so here it is. A very important thing. One reaction I discussed with you related to ozone decomposition. One I discussed with your Ki, and this is the third important reaction. जो mercury है, mercury is not having a tendency to stick with the surfaces. What is the meaning of this? Like अगर पानी को कंटेनर में डालते हो और कंटेनर को खाली करोगे तो पानी की ड्रॉपलेट्स उसके सरफेस के ऊपर चिपकी रहती हैं. But that is the meaning of water have a tendency to stick with the surface. But if I will take the mercury, okay, if I will take the mercury and I will put the mercury in a container, so when we are going to remove the mercury, it is not having the sticky property. It will not stick with the surface. That you're knowing it, okay, that you're knowing it. But when mercury is oxidized to the mercurous oxide, Hg2O, it is oxidized to the mercurous oxide, and this mercurous oxide is having a sticky properties like water. Like water, it will start sticking, okay? Like water, it will start sticking, and because it will start sticking, so this thing we called as tailing of mercury. Mercury की पूंछ लगना, mercury की पूंछ लग जाती है. It starts sticking to the surface. So this we called as Hg2O. It is tailing of mercury. Basically a tailing of mercury. This is an important one. 3 reactions are important. Rest they can ask you to complete the reaction. More focus will be on NCERT. They will not go beyond NCERT regarding the reactions only. Okay, for reactions they will not go beyond the NCERT. Let me just continue with it now. Okay, I hope so. Ozone is clear to you. Important ozonoid, thermodynamically unstable, very important thing. And 3 reactions that I told you, okay, that you have to keep in mind. Just 3 reactions you need to just keep in mind. Let me just go ahead now. Okay. Structure, so we are knowing it. No problems with the structure. Okay, ozone. This is O. Oxygen is here. Oxygen is here. Here I will get a double bond, one coordinate bond. Okay. Sorry. Just give me a moment, please. And you can show the lone pair of electrons here. This side also you can show. One is here. One is here. Oxygen also you can show here and here. Okay. This is done structure. Okay, for ozone. I think so. There should be no trouble at all for the ozone. Okay. Ozone is finished. We have the next one topic is basically we have allotropic forms of sulfur. So sulfur you discussed it, plastic sulfur, rhombic sulfur, okay, different type of sulfurs are there. In those basically those sulfur forms, they're not as per that much important. Crown shaped structure is there, then chair structure is there. So allotropic form of sulfur, just right now there's no need to discuss it. It's not going to be that much important. One question that comes out to be from the allotropic form, that is, which form of sulfur show paramagnetic behavior and why? This is a very important question. Which allotropes we will discuss together only. For sulfur is there, phosphorus is there. Together we will just compare it. It will be much fine. Which form of sulfur show paramagnetic behavior? Paramagnetic behavior and why? paramagnetic behavior and why? Which of sulfur will show paramagnetic behavior and why? Similar question we have done in oxygen also. In oxygen we have done ki O2, oxygen O2 basically. O2 is paramagnetic in spite of having the even number of electrons. Then we discuss why is that so. I told you because in a anti-bonding MO it contains 2 unpaired electrons. This question is which form of sulfur show paramagnetic behavior? Sulfur in nature, basically sulfur exists as acid. We're knowing it. It is having allotropic forms, rhombohedral, monoclinic, plastic, rhombic sulfur. We have different type of sulfurs. Sulfur can also exist as S6. It also exists as S2, elevated temperature per. Okay, it can also exist as S2. In vapor state, the sulfur exists as S2. Fine. In vapor state, sulfur exists as S2. In vapor state, it's going to exist as S2, and in vapor state only, it consists of in S2 form. In vapor state, this is a vapor state. Okay, it exists as S2, and in vapor state, it contain unpaired electrons. In vapor state, it contain unpaired electron in pi star anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Pi star anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So this is the reason. Okay, basically there's a reason it exists as a. This is the reason it exists as paramagnetic. So if question we're going to ask which form exists as a paramagnetic, then S2, okay, that is going to exist as a paramagnetic one. It's going to exist as paramagnetic. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead now. I will just shift to the next topic. We are going to discuss ozone. We discussed. Okay. Now I'm going to discuss with you ozone. We discussed. I'm going to discuss with you sulfur dioxide. Next compound is sulfur dioxide. Next compound is sulfur dioxide. Next one we are going to discuss, that is your sulfur dioxides. Sulfur dioxide, okay? Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. Just 1 minute. Sulfur dioxide. So let me do first preparation. Preparation of sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide can be prepared number one by burning of sulfur. By burning of sulfur. Okay. By burning of sulfur, so we are going to burn sulfur. Sulfur plus oxygen gives sulfur dioxide SO2. This first preparation. Second preparation is everything what reactions I am discussing with you. These all reactions from the NCERT, and you have to be precise with the NCERT only. Just go do each and everything from NCERT. You need not to go anywhere else. Laboratory preparation. In laboratory, we can prepare it by sodium sulfide Na2SO3 plus we are going to react with the H2SO4 sulfuric acid. They will react to give sulfur dioxide SO2 plus H2O plus sodium sulfate Na2SO4. Ionic equation I'm going to draw it for you because board में lot of equations we are able to see in ionic form. So in ionic form it will become SO3 2 negative plus acid 2H positive. It will give H2O plus sulfur dioxide. Ionic equation 1. You can do it very easily. Sodium sulfate, sodium and sodium cancel out from here. Sulfate and sulfate will cancel out from here. So we'll get this one equation only. So this is our laboratory preparation. Then we have its industrial preparation. We have its industrial preparation. In industry, we can prepare it by FeS2, that is your ferrous sulfide, it is solid, plus FeS2, plus we have 11O2 balancing. Okay, I told you balancing is very important. It will give you 2 Fe2O3 plus it will give 8 sulfur dioxide. So just 3 preparations of sulfur dioxide. We can prepare by burning of sulfur. We have the laboratory method and this ionic equation 1, and FeS2 by ferrous sulfide. It's ferrous sulfide basically. Ferrous sulfide 11O2, it will give ferric oxide plus 8 sulfur dioxide. Simple way, there is no trouble at all. Important thing, its properties. Okay, let me go for its properties, its preparation. Sulfur dioxide properties. Just time is about to over. One or two odd properties I'm going to discuss with you. Don't worry, okay? Already you are there for a long time. So in properties, property 1, okay? Property 1 I will say, sulfur dioxide SO2, if we are going to react with the water, this very simple thing, you're knowing it, it's oxide of non-metal. And if you are going to react with the water, there's a formation of acid. Okay, so there's a formation of H2SO3. That is your sulfurous. This is your sulfurous acid, H2SO3. Okay, sulfurous acid. And sulfur dioxide has a acidic nature. From here I can say sulfur dioxide acidic nature because there's a formation of sulfurous acid. If it is an acidic nature, so it means that if I'm going to react this one sulfur dioxide with the base, so it is acidic. If I'm going to react with the base, then what I'm going to get? I will get a salt. Salt is your sodium sulfite, Na2SO3 plus H2O. Na2SO3 plus H2O. Important thing further, if excess Na2SO3 plus H2O plus sulfur dioxide, if excess of sulfur dioxide is present, very important thing, there is a formation of sodium sulfite, and if excess is present, okay, then there is a formation of sodium hydrogen sulfite. There's a formation of sodium hydrogen sulfite. Important thing. Bas, this last reaction for today. This last reaction. The last reaction, after that I will leave you. Okay, this last reaction, you check it out. Reaction with lime water. It's important. A reaction with lime water. You're knowing about lime water. Okay, just let me write down here. Reaction with lime water. Lime water is basically calcium hydroxide, CaOH twice. You're knowing if carbon dioxide gas we are going to pass from the calcium hydroxide, then there is a formation of calcium carbonate. White color PPTs are formed of calcium carbonate. White color PPTs are formed. Here calcium hydroxide is there and we are treating with the sulfur dioxide. So there is a formation of basically calcium sulfide, CaSO3, calcium sulfite plus H2O. With carbon dioxide there is a formation of calcium carbonate. Here is a formation of calcium sulfite, and this calcium sulfite basically these are insoluble and milkiness appear. Similarly, it is insoluble and due to which milkiness appear. It is insoluble due to which milkiness appears. Okay, milkiness appears. They are insoluble and there is a milkiness will appear. And if I further continue for calcium sulfite, CaSO3, if further I will just continue, I will react with the sulfur dioxide. If it is present in excess, then what will happen? It will be with the presence of water also, H2O, it will be converted to calcium hydrogen sulfide. Calcium hydrogen sulfide. This calcium hydrogen sulfide is basically soluble. This one, this basically soluble, okay? It is soluble and there is a disappearance of milkiness. Milkiness will disappear. Milkiness will disappear. So these two reactions, first sodium hydroxide react with sulfur dioxide is the formation of sodium sulfide. And if further we are going to react sodium sulfide with sulfur dioxide, there is a formation of sodium hydrogen sulfide. No trouble. With lime water, if we are going to react the sulfur dioxide, there is a formation of calcium sulfide. Okay, CaSO3. This calcium sulfide is insoluble, like a calcium carbonate, and there is a formation of milkiness. They're insoluble, and there is a formation of milkiness. But if further I will continue to pass the sulfur dioxide, okay, further I will pass the sulfur dioxide, then this milkiness will disappear because of formation of calcium hydrogen sulfide, because this calcium hydrogen sulfide is soluble. So milkiness will disappear. Milkiness will disappear. So